All right, guys, welcome into the Ordinary Fantasy Pod, Week 11. Guys, we are here, as always, to do this podcast for you guys because we love it. We're here. We love it. We love doing it. And we can't wait to get into this shit with you. As always, my name is Ben Conroy, your host. With me, as always, is Nathan Boudreau and my brother, Matt Conroy. Welcome in, guys. We are here, like I said, Week 11. We got a lot of injuries to get into. Let's just roll right through them right now, guys. Joe Burrow went down with a wrist injury quickly. He just had a wrist injury, and now he's down again with a wrist injury. Is there anything to this, guys?
Oh, is it the same wrist injury? A new wrist injury? The league's going to find that out. We'll see. But either way, out for the year.
Well, to be clear, he didn't actually ever report a wrist injury before. They have video of him walking into the stadium with the bandage around his wrist, but there was never a reported wrist injury until after this week. So that's what the investigation is going to look into. I heard one person say maybe it wasn't a wristband, maybe it was one of those things you wear with your iPad, the tracking thing. So, maybe he's got a defense.
I heard somebody say that he's only wearing that because he was at elevation, so it was for compression. That's what the original thing was about.
All right, either way,
he just finished his bowling league or something.
Yeah. Either way, he's out, and that means guys like Jamar Chase and people like that are going to be hurting. So your team's going to look a little different. You might be scrambling.
I did bench Chase in our dynasty league against Bobby this week, so that's something to pay attention to.
Definitely.
I would not bench Chase.
Who's throwing them the ball? Who's going to be the guy throwing the ball?
The guy, he also has a B name, and he's upside down 9'6". I thought it was Burrow like half the game. Like, you look like him, but what is his name?
I benched him for Michael Pittman. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that far of a drop-off. But, yeah, I want to see what he looks like with the Browning quarterback before I activate him.
Browning, there you go.
Browning, yeah. All right, guys, Mark Andrews hurt. And ankle looked really bad. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, that was
it looks bad when it's broken.
It was a tough one to watch. I mean, as soon as he went down, he knew. I mean, he had that anguish on his face, like his season was over. He was flagging over the medical professionals, and it was a tough scene right at the beginning of the game. You never want to see.
It's funny when I saw it, Nate. I saw him in so much pain that he was trying to. I've been in some really bad accidents in my life. I think he was just doing this with his hands, just trying to concentrate to get through the pain. I don't think he's waving people over like people are saying. I think everybody around him, I saw them waving him over, but I think he was just honestly trying to get through the pain. I think that's how bad it was. That's what I saw anyways.
Could be.
Good perspective.
Either way, he's gone, and that's bad for the team because they needed him. All right, Devin.
Isaiah's likely the next guy up, right?
Yeah, that's Isaiah likely. Very funny, brother. All right. We are so brothers. It's so funny. Devon Achane, guys. Another guy that, I personally think came back probably a little too early off that knee injury because, look, he's just banged it up again right away. So what do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We talked about it a bit last week, and Matt and I both agreed that if he's playing, you want to start him. But, in retrospect, and I know it's easier to say this now that we see what happened, right? But
yeah.
I think there needs to be a discussion had about how good does a player have to be, or how much draft capital do you have to have in a player to make him an auto start? I mean, Devon Achane, yeah, he looked good in the couple of games that he played, but he only had 2 games in his whole career prior to this that he actually looked good. I don't know that he's automatically earned that must-start status. And in retrospect, I think if you had another running back that you could start, you probably should have, because we didn't know what he was going to look like coming off this injury. And then, of course, he comes in and, immediately gets hurt, and you lose those points for the week. So,
yeah.
So how about a nickname?
So you're walking it back, by the way. You're walking back what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how about a nickname of Boomerang? You send him off the bench, he comes right back. I mean, something like that.
Boomerang.
I don't think it's as simple as Nate's making it out. I think it really depends, especially this late in the season, on what you need. If you're somebody who is a low-scoring team and you need that high upside, that guy who can get an 80-yard touchdown on one play, I think you're going to play him no matter what. Where a team like you in Dynasty, where you're undefeated, you wouldn't play him there. So I
Right.
think team need matters in this. You need that context there.
Oh, it definitely matters. It's
Yeah.
anytime you get one of your big players back, you're immediately wanting to put him back in because you've been you're thirsty for those points. You know what I mean? So I understand, but that's why I asked you guys that last week if you thought you would put him right away in because especially a knee man and a running back and a guy who's so explosive. Is he going to be who he was? So. And now
Yeah,
we
and
know he's not.
hindsight's always 2020. So I mean, of course, we're looking at it from a different
Yeah.
lens, but
Yeah, of course.
and running back is thin, and especially in our 14-man league. So maybe you had no other option. But yeah, I think that's something to learn from moving forward. Is if a guy doesn't have a very long history of being successful,
Yeah.
maybe you don't chase the 2 good games that he had. Right.
Right. All right, guys. Old man Cooper Kupp. He's hurt again. He just can't stay healthy. Is this his life from now on? Is this who he is? Is this his identity as a player? Can't stay healthy, Kupp.
How old is he?
He's 30. I think he just
30?
turned 30. Yeah.
Okay.
And Cooper Kupp, this is only his second injury, right? He had the hamstring, and then he came back, and then he's been relatively healthy. I'm actually more concerned about his usage. We know that Stafford was banged up there for a couple of games, and that might explain Kupp's usage in those 3 games that he had that were bad before the bye.
Yeah.
Well, at least 2 of the 3, right? One of them, there was no explanation for it. But in this game, I was watching it closely because I'm playing against Kupp, and he got hurt at the end of the first quarter, and he only had 1 catch. That is not the Cooper Kupp usage that
How
we're
many
used to
targets
seeing.
at that point, though?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that, but only 1 catch in the first quarter, and then he got hurt. That's
Well, Puka was
extrapolates
also
out to
in a
4
bad game
catches for
until
the
the
game.
injury.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
Puka was too. So I don't think they had the pass volume going at all. I wasn't watching the game though, so I only got updates on it. But I didn't see Puka get any points till Kupp went out either.
Yeah.
So
No, and then Puka ended up having a nice game because he was the only target in that team. So yeah, that's something to monitor moving forward. They say Cooper Kupp might not miss a lot of time; that he's going to be back potentially this week. But I would really be monitoring his usage, and he's available in our guillotine league, and we'll get to that later because somebody that's on this podcast got kicked out this week, and he was on his team. There's a real debate to be had about whether Cooper Kupp is somebody you want to spend real legitimate fab dollars on, or is that somebody you want to let somebody else take?
I hope he is just a fucking lame duck decoy the rest of the way. He just keeps getting run out there. He gets 4 or 5 catches a game. Puka gets the rest. The tight ends get the rest. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I mean,
see.
you gotta. No matter if he's out there, hurt or healthy, you gotta show him respect and cover him, right? So
Did you guys
can't
think
just-
he looked right running after he came back from the hamstring injury the second time?
Yes. So when he came back from the hamstring
Okay.
injury, I was watching that game closely. That's when I still had him on my roster, and they made an immediate point to get him the ball, and he looked like
They
the
did.
Cooper Kupp of old. I mean, that first drive, it was just Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp. They were just tagging him left and
So
right.
you don't
and I
think
was
any
like,
lingering leg issue?
No,
that's
I was
been
like, this
going on.
motherfucker's back. Like, he was all the way back. So that first game was good. The second game was even better. He went out and got a touchdown. He still had high usage. And then the third game, it was just inexplicable. There was no targets, no catches. It was a very low scoring game. And then, of course, Stafford got hurt. So I don't know. Maybe this is the beginning of the end for one Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I mean, it would follow the pattern of every other guy who's played that position before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's in his 30s. Yeah.
You just age out. It happened to even the
Yeah.
best of them, man.
Mhm.
Some of them lasted a little longer, but
Well, and the thing with him, he is 100% resilient on those quick inside-outside cuts. That's probably the first thing you lose when you get old, not the straight line speed. So that's probably the first thing you lose.
Quickness over speed.
Yep, the lateral quickness. Yep.
Yeah. All right, guys. Matt, you've been saying it over and over and over again. Charbonnet, the guy in Seattle, and it looks like
It's finally coming true.
looks like it's coming true for you. Kenneth Walker went down this week, guys. Talk to me about Kenneth Walker.
It's an oblique. We remember Christian McCaffrey had one of those. He didn't miss any time. He missed the second half of the game, but came back in the next game. So it's hard to know. With the running back, obliques, you come back a lot quicker than receivers. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to miss this game for sure because it's on Thursday. So
that makes sense.
It's a quick turnaround. I think he's going to miss this week. But yeah, I think there's a chance that he could come back after that. the interesting thing to watch though is Charbonnet's in as his backup, and Charbonnet had a decent game this past week. But this next stretch of games for Seattle is not running back friendly. I mean, they're playing the Niners this week. They have a
Yeah.
couple other tough defenses they're playing against, so it's not exactly exciting to have Charbonnet. The one thing I will say as
Mhm.
somebody that owns both Walker and Charbonnet is in this tough stretch of games, I'm kind of happy just to have a workhorse Charbonnet,
Yeah.
if that is the case, as opposed to
Mhm.
having a timeshare, right? And so
Mhm.
in some ways, it's a blessing in disguise that I only have Charbonnet and not Walker. But I hope he's okay, and it'll be nice to see him get back out, in a couple of weeks.
I'm excited to see what Charbonnet can do with this many touches because he's explosive. He's
Yeah,
explosive. It could be a
let's
lot
just
of
hope
fun.
it's not big this week against the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Seattle's upcoming schedule. I was just hearing them talk about it during the Rams pregame show, and because obviously division rivals, they got a hard stretch coming up, man. they do not have an easy thing coming. So, all right, guys, let's talk trades. Talk a little trades. Joe traded in the Dynasty League Jared Goff and a third to Nate for a second and 2025 first. And
Is
I
that a
don't know.
2024 second?
Yeah, 2024 second,
24
Sorry.
second.
and
Okay.
a 2025 first, because I don't have a 2024 first. I
Yeah.
mean, this
Me
trade
either.
was prompted by the fact that that I lost Joe Burrow on
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football, and they announced that he was out for the year. My only other quarterback is Mahomes, which, oh, boo-hoo, you only have Mahomes, but it is a super flex. So I felt like I needed to get a second quarterback, and I actually wasn't even targeting Goff or anybody of his ilk. I didn't think I'd be able to get a top 12 guy. I was kind of looking at guys in that 15 to 20 range. I threw a few offers out there. I was trying to get a few guys, and people were playing hardball with me. I mean, even for a Josh Dobbs, who isn't even guaranteed to be a starter next year. I
Yeah.
mean, the asking price that I was getting from Sean was so astronomical. I was like, I can't justify that price.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few other guys told me, I'll look at it, but they didn't respond. And then Joe came through with this offer, and I mean, it might be a bit of an overpay. I never like giving up a first round pick, especially that far into the future. I don't know how high that first round is going to be,
Yeah.
but I really feel like this year's finals in the Dynasty League is going to come down to me and Bobby. And if I only have one quarterback, I don't have any chance of beating Bobby. So, Bobby,
Well,
you got to me. I made this move specifically because I'm worried about your team, and that's the team I'm also playing this week. So I
oh
felt like it was
man,
a good time to do it.
I had it on my notes to talk about Nate's subtle jinxes that he throws out that nobody thinks we hear. He doesn't think we hear, but that's one of those. So okay,
What
Yeah.
about the GG you gave me on the podcast last week, brother?
Yeah.
no, but see, here's the thing. I don't believe him. He believes in jinxes. He tells us he doesn't because he doesn't like getting teased, but he believes in jinxes. He's the guy who wears underwear backwards twice a week if he had to get Niners a win. He would do it. Nate believes in that shit. I know he does.
I believe in it. I
You're
believe in
too
about
good
as
at
much
the
as
subtle
you do.
jinxes. You throw them in there so often, and they just slide right through. Most people don't even see them. You're good at it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
They're only jinxes if you believe in jinxes, and since
know
you
you
don't,
do.
then they're not jinxes.
No.
I don't believe you. I believe you most things you say. I don't believe you on this.
Yeah, I thought the trade was, I didn't think there was too much to it, and I knew what you were doing. You were trying to get Purdy off me too this week, and
Yep.
so I mean, I saw that what you were going for, and yeah, I think Jared Goff, especially this year, is going to be great for you. Moving forward, we obviously don't know. Jared Goff's been so up and down over his career, but it seems like he's kind of got it dialed in right now. So I think that's a good trade. And
He
like you said,
rewarded you with 3 interceptions this week, right?
Yeah, and Sean made sure to remind me of that since I took Goff instead of Dobbs. He texted me and said, "Oh, Goff looks like shit," which he did. He threw the 3 interceptions. Not that Dobbs had that great of a game either, but I actually, before I pulled the trigger on this, I went back and looked at Jared Goff's career and where he finishes. And other than that one year that he was horrible for the Lions, his first year in the Lions, he's had a pretty good career.
yeah, he has.
He's sort of in fantasy. He's kind of like the new Kirk Cousins. He's always sort of hovering around that. 10, 12, 10, 11, 12 range in fantasy. And in fact, I think last year he finished like in the top 6. And one year with the Rams, he finished in the top 4. So I went, you know what? That's enough for me. That I've seen enough. I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on this. And
Yeah. Yeah.
if he's my
No, it was a
third
good. It
quarterback
was a
next
good
year,
trade. It was a good trade for you. And like I said before the pod, I think you overpaid a little bit, but I think you have the ability to. It was obviously the right move for you to make.
And that
Yep.
25 first is Joe's, right? So Joe's team hasn't been doing that great. So
No,
this
that's-
Could
year
be a top 5 pick.
no,
could be.
I gave him a 2025 first, so that'll be my 2025 first.
Oh,
Well,
sorry,
later.
I was reading
There
that
you go.
backwards. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
not
so-
great. That's not great for him. Then I
No.
don't see that as great for him. So
Unless my team tanks next year, if my team's good again next year, it'll probably be
You're not gonna-
Injuries
bottom.
happen. Injuries happen.
Yeah.
but
You
dude,
never know.
you've been a force in this league since we started it. So like,
Well, the interesting thing to look at is he gave me a third in 2024 for my second as part of that trade. His third and my second might not be that far apart from
They
each
might
other.
be like 6 picks apart. Yeah.
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 Or
All right,
less.
well,
or less.
all right.
Back
Well,
to back.
yeah. Back to back. Main league trades, guys. We had two of them. Steve traded Noah Brown to Ryan for James Cook, Leonard Fournette. Sorry. You guys surprised that nobody countered this trade?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand what Ryan was thinking with this trade. I have talked to him about it after he made the trade because he was in California this weekend, so we had a chance to kind of shoot the shit about football.
Yeah.
I've made a number of offers to Ryan for James Cook throughout the season, and he never wanted to let him go. Maybe it's just he doesn't want to trade with me this year. Maybe that's part of it.
No, he told me he wouldn't trade Cook till week 11. I tried a couple weeks ago, and he kept saying week 11. I won't trade him before that. I guess he's being honest.
But here's the thing: is even if you want to trade James Cook, why Noah Brown? I mean, this guy only had 2 good games, and we know that those 2 good games happened because of injuries, right? We know that Nico Collins and Robert Woods are both hurt. And so as a result of that, Noah Brown got to play for the first time in his career. Now, we're not talking about a rookie here. We're talking about a 27-year-old veteran who hasn't really done much in this league at all. He has 2 good games, granted, really good games. I mean, in
Really
the 30s fantasy points. But I asked Ryan, why would you go out and get Noah Brown? And Ryan was actually surprised to hear that he was 27. He's like, wait, he's not like the hot new rookie? No.
That's not Tank Dell.
Yeah. And then I told Ryan, I said, well, he's actually the number 4 wide receiver on his team. He's not even going to be on the field in 3 wide receiver sets. And Ryan's like, yeah, but I went and looked at the measurables, and he's the tallest one out of all of them. So,
well, there you go. He has his reasons.
By that logic, I'm the best podcaster.
yeah.
Wait. No.
I'm just saying that's how silly it is. Come on.
Yeah, it's really silly.
It's honestly, it's like picking your favorite team by their team colors. Like it's that silly. Oh, he's the tallest. He's the best. Oh, come on, man. We got to do more research than that.
Yeah, I agree, but also there's something to be said about the special sauce that's happening in Houston, right? Like you're like there's something special going on there with that quarterback, and the injuries are a real thing. It's not like they're not injured. The guys are still are they back yet? Is Robert Woods back? Did he come back?
Robert Woods played this week, and
rank their 4 receivers.
Okay, so
in order. Who's their number 1?
I think Tank Dell's number 1.
Yep.
You can make an argument for Nico Collins.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for Nico Collins, but I think those 2 are definitely the 1A, 1B.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got Robert Woods as the veteran, right? He's going to be on the field when he's
easily
healthy.
the 3.
You know who didn't play this week? Noah Brown. The week after Ryan traded for him, did not play.
That's my point.
So Ryan could have done better than Noah Brown. That's all it is. Running back is thin in this league, and if he wanted to dangle James Cook and add James Cook's handcuff, which we know Leonard Fournette has a history of playing well when the weather gets cold, if you want to dangle those guys, dangle them for somebody that's actually usable, right? Not some guy flash in the pan that had 2 good weeks is my only point. So I think Ryan did himself a disservice there.
I'm lower on Fournette now than when he was signed. I thought if they were going to use him, they'd start bringing him in earlier. They're not. Maybe they're holding him for a playoff run, I guess. But I thought he'd already have value if he was going to have value. So
yeah, I hear you. All right, guys. One other trade that we had in the main league this week is Adam traded Cooper Kupp to Justin for Kyler Murray, Rondale Moore, and Keaton Mitchell. That was a big trade. And let's hear it from the guys themselves right here as to why they made that trade. All right, guys, welcome to Hammer It Out. We're here to talk about this big trade that happened in the main league this week, and we have Adam Hammer and his brother Justin Hammer here joining us. Welcome in, guys. How you guys doing?
Great. Happy to be here and trying to defend a trade that I obviously already lost.
All right. Whoa. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. Justin,
I think the big trade
he's
he's talking about is how I got Kyler Murray, Rondale Moore, and Kay Mitchell just for Brian Robinson. Holy fuck, dude. All I had to give up was Brian Robinson, and I got the Heat times 3. It's a fucking trade because
let's lay this out a little.
I never even.
Let's lay this out a little bit, Adam. Hold on. Let's lay this out here. Okay, so we're going back to September 21st, guys. If y'all remember that date, September 21st. It was a big day in fantasy
Holy
football.
fuck! I'm on a true crime podcast.
Yeah. Let's go back. Justin picked up Kyler Murray off free agency, never to start him at all since he picked him up. Let's September 27th.
You know he was on IR, right? Like
I understand.
I don't think anyone started a player on IR in this league yet.
It's happened. Actually, it has happened.
I've tried. It hasn't happened.
Yes, but I'm sorry. Keep building your suspense.
September 27th. Justin picked up Keaton Mitchell off free agency. Never started him. Boom. November 15th.
Oh, it's Keaton.
Should have.
Yeah.
Did I say Keaton?
No, you did. Yeah.
I didn't know.
November 15th.
I just knew it was K.
Justin acquired Rondale Moore off waivers. Adam didn't even put in a claim for that.
No, I'm
one.
still
That's
sitting
strange.
on number 1.
That was part of our deal.
All right. That was part of our deal. November 16th. Justin traded all 3 players off his bench to Cooper Kupp to Adam. And I just wanted to lay it out for you guys, just so we all know the facts of how.
I think you skipped a few dates in there. There was.
Did I?
I mean, I got Justin Jefferson when he was on IR, right?
Yeah, that's
who
true.
Sat
that's
on
true.
my bench.
And didn't start him.
And then I traded him for Cooper Kupp, who I never started. And then I just shuttled that along. So. In my mind, I just got interest on Brian Robinson, and that interest was Rondale Moore and Kay Mitchell. Good old Kay
Mitchell. So here's what I'm wondering. You guys, we haven't said we disagree with the trade. It's a bad trade. You guys are defending yourselves on everything.
I think.
Why do you think we have to defend yourselves? We never said it's a bad trade.
No.
Wait. The league definitely has.
No.
And you said it was interesting for someone who's out.
Interesting.
And Nate referred to Cooper Kupp as a $53 player. Let's go back 11 weeks, even though we all know if there was a draft yesterday.
And you're doing this whole fucking segment over a trade. So you guys made it a big deal. What the fuck?
And Nate admitted himself that 53 was too much for him. That he only did it because he was drunk.
It's a slow week.
You know
Adam.
what it is. Here's where the real confusion is.
Let me ask you a question then. If he's not worth 53,
Jefferson out of all of this, and so maybe he's in on it.
If he's not worth, if he's not worth 53, what do you think? If the draft happened today, what do you think Cooper Kupp would go for?
Under $53.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, how much do you think though? Would
it be now today? Or do you mean at the time?
Today. Let's say if we did the draft today, let's say you did the draft before he got hurt. So at the time you guys made the trade.
Yeah, that's more.
$35 maybe.
Sure.
Right?
What do you mean?
So I mean, even though he's not a $53 player, he's still significantly, by far and away, the most valuable player of all the 4 people in that trade, right? We agree on that at least.
It was a 3-for-1. I don't do that thing that you always do, where I try and convince everybody that I was only looking out for Adam's best interest. Oh, I really just wanted to help his team. He's the one who actually, I guess I'll settle for Cooper Kupp. I'm not trying to pretend I didn't, but I was going off of a name. I was going off of something he could do. And Adam doesn't really play fantasy football that way. Adam's paying more attention to the fact that Cooper Kupp hasn't scored more than 7 points in 6 weeks or something like that. He's paying attention to, he hasn't done anything this year. And I'm trying to be oh, I got you, sucker. He's going to turn around and get it. And that's what I was hoping. And that's clearly what everybody thought was going to happen. But
Not me though,
Spoiler alert,
because
yeah.
chaos
Wrong
always
again.
wins.
It's
Chaos
Adam
wins
is
every
correct.
hand. Chaos will always win, and that's what I love about these trades.
I will say this. I was involved in a pretty controversial trade last year, which I think I took quite a bit more heat for my trade than you guys are taking. So, but the word collusion got thrown around a lot when I was involved in my trade, and not by everybody, but a few people said, it's collusive, or you guys are working together, or what's the back deal that you guys made. So I know how it feels to be called a cheater, and so I don't throw those kind of words around, and I certainly don't think this was collusion. If anything, I think this trade could probably be best described as a brotherly shove. You got one brother that's completely out of it.
Smile, buddy.
He's
that one's good.
he's completely out of it. He's 1-9, and he's like, "Oh, you want Cooper Kupp? You're playing Nate this week? Here you go, brother. There's Cooper
I'm
Kupp."
out of it figuratively and fucking literally and metaphorically. I'm fucking out of it, bro.
And mentally.
Everything, dude.
So you think that's fair? Maybe it was a little bit of a brotherly shove there?
Are you just looking for like kudos on your quirky little word pairing thing? Like the pun thing? Hey, that is clever, Nate. Good job.
It is. It's cute. It is cute.
I can tell you this whole week I was reaching out to everybody. Jake and I were in a group chat, and I think most of the people in the league, the ones that I thought either there was a good deal available or they have a history of actually making trades. I talked to Nate just because he sent me an offer, and I'm trying to do the respond if somebody says something. So I didn't really think there was a great deal there, but I reached out to Nate because he had reached out to me, and Jake and I just kept looking. There were some teams that we thought had a really good schedule and some ways that we could get some of those players. And we knew that we were going to the Rams game. So we tried to get Puka from Matt, and that just wasn't going to work. He thinks Puka is at the peak, and probably justifiably
He's probably
so.
going to do a little better now.
So honestly, when we reached out to Adam, we were looking at Hollywood because we liked his schedule, and we wanted to get some Cardinals for the playoff stretch if we can make it there. And he was like, "Well, what about Cooper Kupp?" And I said, "Ask him." So he started the thread, and he asked Uncle Adam, like, what would it take to get Cooper Kupp? I thought that Trevor Lawrence was playing shitty and he needed a quarterback. I had one who I think is going to be a number one that's sitting on my bench, and also that we could get him his running back. So we offered Kyler and Brian Robinson, and Adam said he would rather have Keaton Mitchell, and he wanted Rondale was on waivers, and he wanted us to use our waiver priority so that he could get him but keep his. So Rondale wasn't just the player, it was who he wanted off of waivers without having to use his waiver priority. So
what do you say my waiver priority for?
Whoever's going to keep me out of that dress, I don't know. But it wasn't going to be Rondale Moore.
It's a value. It has value for sure.
It wasn't going to be Rondale Moore. Who came in and had 13 points,
here's a question.
which outscored Cooper Kupp by 11. That does not make up the deficit I get for sitting Trevor Lawrence on his one good week when he had a 42-point rebound over last week's -3 or whatever the fuck he got me. So,
Nick, Trevor Lawrence is actually having a really good season. He's got several good weeks this year. He just had the one bad week against the
cool. I'll
Niners.
trade him to you.
I can see
You
why
want
you
him?
were.
Yeah, he's fucking killing it, man.
Yeah.
He's got
killing it.
2 games over 20, or 3 games now, and 1 that's negative, which is only 1 fewer than Mac Jones. So, whatever. It's a fucking headache.
You're right. That was his best week. Yeah, 36 points. That was his only week over 30. You're right.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys, though, and it's not specific to this trade and necessarily, but it is something that kind of sparked up a conversation that I've had with a few people, Matt specifically. Do you guys think that there should be a rule in our league that once a player is eliminated from playoff contention, that he's restricted from doing big trades or even trading at all?
I think what we should do is have less rules and less people on our bench and have more fun with fantasy football, because I'm fucking living life right now. I can't pay attention to fucking fantasy football. I'm done. But I'm playing in this other league in Yahoo with independent players. It's the same scoring, except there's a few other things, like there's like bonuses for 50-yard completions or whatever, something like that. But otherwise, it's very similar, except their benches, there's only 5. And so, like, if you get hit with these injuries, and we still have like a IR slot, if you get hit with these injuries, you can still be active in the league. And also, like, so everyone's engaged, and the best teams who were the most active are still at the top, and there's still a few people that need to, like, hey, Tim, fucking set your, oh shit, I forgot, is it today? Okay. And like, so, and those people kind of go towards the bottom. No one's getting lucky or anything like that. But it's just, there's so much less commitment and so much less like bylaws and let's take it to the committee and fucking and like, I'm just done with all that. So, like, whatever we can do to simplify it to where we don't have to rat on each other for leaving someone in the fucking practice squad, and trades can just go through, and like that's fun. I'm doing it in another league, and it's good times. But otherwise, like, I am happy to
I
free
hear
up
ya.
my spot in this 14-man league, knock it down to 13. Y'all can do fucking whatever you want with that next year, because I'm just
Oh,
done. No,
come
no, no.
on,
I'm
knock
done
it
with
off.
it. Like 22 years. It's not getting more fun. It's like, it's obvious I'm the fly in the fucking ointment in these, like on these things and in the text thread. And I'm the one making fun of all the fucking rules and shit all the time. Like, I'm just done. So, like, this year will be my last year. And there it is.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But
Come on.
I'm
Stop
still
working
going
on
to
the
do.
pod.
That trade rule is going to get voted out this year. That trade rule is only a 1-year handcuff. That's gone next year. We're going to
No,
vote
that's
that
fine.
out.
That's fine.
No, I like that trade rule.
It's fine. I'm too busy regardless. So I will, if I'm last or whatever, show up at the draft and address or whatever the fuck to get you guys off, and I'll do that. But you know, but after that, I'm
You
done.
enjoy
man.
that
High
every
five,
year
everybody.
too.
Say what's up.
You enjoy the punishment just as much as everybody, man. Come on.
Oh, okay.
You've participated in it just like everybody else has.
I don't know, man. I didn't fetishize it with a calendar like you pervert motherfuckers. Like, it's weird. Like, you guys are getting a little weird. Like, you're trying to make it fun. Like, when my kids aren't really having
part of that
fun,
just
they
like
just
everybody
start
else.
this maniacal laugh as if that'll jumpstart the fun. And sometimes that's what it feels like. So I'm just done. I'm busy. I'm going to be like coaching soccer and shit like that. I'm not going to be able to do fantasy football times 4 or whatever. So it's been great. But you know, I'll let
It's
y'all
good.
figure out how to fill this spot, or if you guys want to fucking figure out who else to vote off the island and knock it back to 12, I'm gonna be done. This is it, 2023, and that's done for me.
You know, this isn't your first time quitting, though. You think there might be a change of heart in a couple of months? Maybe come back and give it another run?
Nah, I mean, I've like deleted apps and shit off my phone and stuff. Like, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Well, it's been fun hanging out with you for 22 years, man. It's gonna be.
Can't
a
believe you
shame.
got rid of J-Date finally. Jesus Christ.
J-Date?
Come on.
The app off your phone.
Yeah. No, J-Date's gone.
Yeah.
Christian single, my Christian
Golden
mingle, what's it
Tinder.
called?
Golden oldies.
Golden
Fuck yeah,
Grinder.
dude.
That's what
You'll
I'm
have
on.
more
I'm on
time for
Golden
football when you
Grinder.
get rid of the old creepy dating apps.
Can you at
Well,
least still
kinda
call in
my-
and yell at Nate every once in a while? That's the part.
Yeah.
Or fucking fill the spot with Jake or whoever the fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck what you guys do. But yeah, it's gonna be open.
All right. Well, this was fun.
Okay, here. No, I got a real answer to Nate's question, because I don't think I'm quitting. But for years, once I've gotten to the point where I'm out of the league, I don't really do much. I don't do trades. I don't put in waiver priorities. I don't, because I do think the people who are still in should be the ones who are like fighting the hardest. But that's not what this league has done historically. Everyone keeps participating, whether they are in or whether they are out. So
Yeah.
if you
Even me
want
with
to
this
make some
stupid
sort of
fucking trade.
if you want to make some sort of rule where you can't do that anymore, I'm all for it. But if we don't, then don't get mad at the people that do, because that's what we've encouraged historically, is for people to keep fighting until the very end, which I do. I'll set my lineup. I'll make sure it's not illegal. I'll put up the whatever, but I haven't ever put in like waiver claims or looked at trades or anything once I've been out of it. And obviously that's happened a lot over the course of this league.
Well,
so.
and I think we did a disservice this year, and we've talked about it before. These divisions are so big. People got knocked out so early. I think a lot of people lost hope and think they can't fight their way back in. We've already talked about going back to small divisions next year, so it goes back to feeling like it did last year, that even if you're 5, 6, 7 games out, you can still climb back in because you play your division
Not
twice.
for me. It
So
wasn't the division. It's
I
the
think
waivers.
that
the-
all around, myself
Yeah.
included, didn't think all the scoring, small benches, how you can't get back in the division this year. I like to think that I try and think of that stuff ahead of time. I know Nate puts in hours trying to think of that stuff. I think we might have come up short a little bit this year, and I think we did get people knocked out too soon. So
Yeah.
I think is something that I plan to talk about anyways, of trying to make this league feel like it did before this year.
Well, I've
And-
heard from other people that they don't like playing in
Yeah.
a 14-man league. I mean, Sean, who we know,
Yeah.
loves playing in this league with us, he's told me that, if we do 14 again next year, he's considering not playing. Now, I don't really take that, 100% serious.
Hey,
I think
Sean,
that
what
we
if they're
probably
doing
still convince
13?
him to come back. But yeah, if Adam's serious, if Adam's really going to quit, and I hope he doesn't.
No,
you know,
and I
hope
still
Adam
want to
stays
stick
with
out
us,
with
so.
Dynasty because just for me, like I want to figure out how to make the playoffs in that as like a problem solving. But I don't have time. This is too competitive, and I'm fucking up the party. I'm the hot dog and the pasta salad in the in the
You're
chat.
not fucking nothing up, dude. Come on.
No. It's me, and I feel it when I'm participating, I'm like I feel dirty and gross, and I'm like I should be over there working on this or finishing that project or doing that thing, but I'm like looking at fucking fantasy
I get that.
scores and
Yeah.
I'm on my own. I got these kids every other week, and so I need to get a yard and things like that going. So fantasy football isn't really paying the bills, and there's like side hustles I can be focusing on that do. And so I got to cut back this one, and I'm going to do the ones that I can more autopilot. And if I even hold on to those, and that's it. Growing up.
All right, so it sounds like we need to help Adam make $100,000 before football season, so he feels comfortable playing. All right, let's go. Let's make
Won't
some
take
money.
much.
Well, guys, it was a riveting conversation. Adam, I hope we can talk you into coming back.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on and talking about the trade with
Sure.
us. And hopefully we'll get a chance to chat 1 or 2 more times before the end of the season.
Cool. If you keep
Thanks,
doing
guys.
that low score shit, I'm sure you will.
All right, thanks, guys.
Later, fellas.
All right, guys. Well, that was Adam and Justin giving us their rundown of why they thought that trade was a good trade, and we just went through it all. We don't need to really comment anymore on it, but yeah. So let's move it on, guys, to our around the league recap. Matt, you got a lot to talk about this week about all our leagues, and you do a great job with this. So take it away, brother.
Well, I'm going to do less of a job of it going forward, and Nate's going to have to help out because I was eliminated from the Gilly League this week. So I don't have access to get on there and see who wins going forward. So Nate's going to have to pick up that reporting. But I had injuries to Cooper Kupp, Kenneth Walker, somebody else. I mean, I was decimated, so it was ridiculous. So I'm out. See ya. Okay, so moving over to the side league.
Hey, Matt, before you move forward, I do have one question about the Guillotine League.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to rub anything in. I know it's always rough getting knocked out of Gilly, and it's a bummer that you're gone. But I didn't notice this until I was watching your team this week. You made a reference on last week's pod, and you said, "I finally have a quarterback. I went out and spent all my money. I got Jalen Hurts, and I finally have a quarterback." I didn't realize you had a quarterback on your team.
Yeah.
You had Brock motherfucking Purdy,
I did.
who you put on your bench, and he outscored Jalen Hurts, didn't he?
Still wasn't enough to win. Not with the
It wasn't
injuries.
enough to win, but I mean,
Right.
how can you come on this pod and say I didn't have a quarterback when you got the fucking GOAT?
Well, because when I made that comment, we were coming off how many losses in a row? 3?
No, you made it last week on last week's pod, right?
Okay, so 3 losses and a win. Okay, either way, the opportunity to get Jalen Hurts, his points are up here, Brock's are not there. Jalen Hurts is still a better fantasy quarterback at this point on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah. Okay.
I know I knew it was coming. But
All right.
dude, I had the opportunity to get him for a fucking ridiculous cheap price this late in the season.
I mean, did
Yeah,
you
you
get rid
actually
of the
could've-
jersey? Did you get rid of your jersey too? You're not wearing your jersey this week. I mean, like, this is a
No, the
complete-
Hurts jersey's in the closet.
Oh.
Yeah.
You actually could have won though if you would have played Brock Purdy and I think one other guy on your team. I think you had a chance to.
Dude, come on! I wasn't going to sit Cooper Kupp or Kenneth Walker. They had injuries. That's the reason.
I would have sat Kenneth Walker for James Cook.
No.
No?
Kenneth Walker
Okay.
outscores him every week. Points per game. Look it up. I'm not wrong.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
PPG,
So,
PPG.
got to look at points per game. All right. So over on the side league, we got Jamie, Sean, and Nate, all at 7-4. That was one of those really smooth jinxes Nate threw out a couple weeks ago. Where he goes, "Oh, I guarantee this is the league I'm going to lose. I only have 2 wins or so." He threw it out so smooth. Now he's up there tied for the league lead. Nice job. We got Bob, Anna, Portia, and Megan at 6-5. Matt, Ryan, and Jeff at 4-7. So realistically, I think everybody's still in this because the guys in last are only 3 games out, 3 games to go. Doubt it's going to happen. But yeah, we'll see how that works out. In Dynasty, we have Nate still undefeated at 11-0, Bobby at 10-1. Slippy Slidey brother Ben went down to 7-4.
Yeah.
Justin at 5-6.
By the way,
Yeah,
in
That
the order,
means everybody in that division is in the playoffs right now.
yeah, that's pretty good.
That's ridiculous.
What were you going to say, Nate?
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut Matt off. Sorry. I didn't mean that to be a jinx in the side league. At the time that I said that, I had just lost Jefferson and Achane. I had them both on my team, and I had lost them in the same week. But you know what really saved me is I took the advice that we gave on this pod, and I went and traded Jefferson. I got some usable pieces, and I've been on a little bit of a hot streak ever since then. So it's been all right.
You have.
Yeah.
You have bounced back from some bad drafts this year, and you were fighting your way back. So also in Dynasty, we got Dre at 7-4 at his division, and Matt at 5-6. I finally took over Jeff, not Josh, in that division. So right now, that is the playoffs as it stands. Nate, Bob, Ben, Justin, Dre, and Matt. We'll see if that holds. Ben, Dynasty, buddy. It's fun this week.
Yeah, man, you threw out that big jinx on me last week on the pod, and it came true for you. My team just didn't show up, although it did at the very end. Like I only lost by like 5 points or something, and
it was under 10. Yeah,
if Cup wouldn't have gotten hurt, I probably could have pulled it out. But that Cup injury really hurt everybody. It really did.
So do you feel better about your team if Cup is out, that you can sit him and just play Puka and then put somebody else in, and now you don't have to worry about which one of those guys is going to have a better week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not excited that I'm trading Cup for Drake London because he's really my best option right now on my team, I think, at wide receiver. I'm not excited about that. Although Drake's been having a better season towards the end of this year. He's been performing better. So
and Ritter's back playing quarterback now.
Yeah, it might work out better. It might work out for me. It was a tough loss. It was, and your team overperformed, I think, a little bit. Yeah. So it is what it is. I mean,
we talk on this pod a lot about how you observe other players, you see some of their strategies, you see what they're doing, what works, what doesn't work, and a good fantasy player always tries to kind of pick up the best practices and apply them to their own game. So with that in mind, Matt, I observed something you did last week, and I think it really worked for you. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out here on this podcast, Bobby. GG.
All right. So none of you noticed, and you wouldn't because it only mattered by 1 point. But I'm looking at the game going, I need every possibility of points I can. Floor doesn't matter going against Ben. I got to get ceiling. I had Chuba Hubbard, I had Miles Sanders, and I had Tajay Spears. And I said, dude, Tajay Spears, he's at least getting enough touches. He's the kind of guy who can break one. So I sat Hubbard and Sanders and put Tajay Spears in. Now, he only scored 1 more point, so it didn't matter that much. But that's the kind of move that I think goes underappreciated, making those little things to get those kind of points.
No, yeah, for sure.
Tajay Spears is way more upside than those guys right now.
Yeah.
I think anyways. So
yeah, that's a tough call too, because Chuba Hubbard is the starter, and Tajay's not supposed to be the starter. So yeah, making that kind of move is ballsy.
Very ballsy, even because you even had Ty Chandler sitting there that you had the opportunity to play, and he's been playing well. I know Madison was back, but Chandler has been performing well, and he continued to roll. He got 14 fantasy points this week. You would have blown me out by even farther if you would have thought to play him over Spears. Anyway,
we'll see if I can make the playoffs. Like I said, I'm only 5-6. Let's get a winning record first and see where I go.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So in the main league, In the playoffs right now, it sits at Ben 1, Dre 2, Matt 3, Alex 4, Jeff 5, Sean 6. Nate, you've been coming on a little bit lately. Where do you stand on ability to make a wild card?
Well, I mean, I was going to talk a little bit about it in my high score segment, but since you asked, it's not looking likely. I mean,
Well, we
I'm
could
2
just
games.
kind of
Why don't we just
transition.
roll it right into Nate's high
I
score
was going to say,
segment?
let's just transition it right to your high score of the week. Nate, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
193.12. That's a big number, and I'll let you just take it away from here.
Yeah, so Brock Purdy, again, second week in a row, he was the highest scoring player on the highest scoring team. He also did something that no 49er quarterback has ever done before, having back-to-back games with that high of a passer rating. I know the last time a perfect passer rating happened was in 1989, Joe Montana, but the back-to-back games is really what stands out to me is this guy might be legit. But this is not a 49ers podcast. Let me answer Matt's
Steve
question.
Young also did it the same year as Montana.
Yeah, he did. Same year.
Three
As a
weeks,
backup.
like 3 weeks apart.
Yep.
Same season. It's
Pretty
crazy.
neat stat.
That was before Steve Young was a starter. He came in as a backup and had a perfect passer rating, which is kind of what sparked that quarterback controversy that they had there.
Yep.
I, Matt, am 5-6. I'm 2 games out of the playoffs with 3 games to go. So my high score, as nice as it was, didn't really help because Sean won and Bobby won, who's also ahead of me in the race, and also Jeff won. So all the guys that I'm chasing also won this week. I need a lot of lucky breaks in order to make the playoffs. Here's exactly what I need. I need to beat Sean this week. Okay. If I lose, I'm over. My season's done. I need to beat Sean this week, and I need Bobby to lose at some point, and I need Sean to lose another game after this week. If that happens and I win out, then yeah, I can make the playoffs. But that's a
Do you
tall
actually
order.
need that much help with playing Ryan back to back at the end? You need that much help.
Ryan's not the only team I have to pass. So yeah, if I win out and I beat Ryan twice, that's fine. But I'm still going to be trailing Sean by a game.
Oh, Ryan's not in the playoffs right now. You're right. Yeah,
and Sean has the tiebreaker on me. I mean, not Sean.
Okay.
Bobby has the tiebreaker on me. So even if I tie Bobby, I'm not going to make it. So I need Bobby to lose. I need Sean to lose another game after this week, and I need to win out. A lot of need does. Yeah.
It's a lot of needs.
So do you envision drinking less before next year's draft?
Yeah, I'm going to try and monitor my alcohol intake at next year's draft, which I've done in years past. I've monitored it. If you remember 1 year at Joe's house, I was in a grumpy mood and didn't drink through the first half of the draft. And about halfway through, you got pissed off at my attitude and was like, Nate, fucking have a drink. And
it was like giving somebody a Snickers bar because they're acting like a bitch, dude, right? That's how it came down. I'm like, drink this, fucker.
Yeah. But that's typically my goal is I try and stay sober for at least the first half of the draft when all the big names are drafted, and I did not do that this past year. But you know what?
I'm just teasing, man. It was a fun draft.
Where do you think you missed? I mean, if we're gonna go there real quick, I mean, where do you think you missed on the draft?
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, okay. That's right.
I mean, that's it. That's really all it is. Cooper Kupp was my number 1 player. I took him for $53, and I'm now back-to-back high score this year, and I'm number 3 in the league in total points. And all of the games that I've had where I'm high score, Cooper Kupp did not contribute at all. I mean, I did it without him. So imagine what I could have done with that $53.
Well, you also at the end you spent money on 3 different tight ends. I mean, you had a couple mistakes other than just Cooper Kupp, but
yeah, I was pretty drunk.
Cooper Kupp was the big spend that fucked you, no doubt.
Yeah, there were some little things, but those things you can fix, right? Those things you can iron out over time, which I have. And I made a lot of really good draft picks. I mean, Jaylen Warren obviously was fucking dynamite. I knew it would take a while to get there.
Beginning of the season, I said, man, what about Jaylen Warren? You go, man, I hope I don't have to start him. So do not come back on here saying you drafted him thinking he was going to be a starter. You were hoping, you said on this podcast, I hope I do not play this guy.
No, I was saying week 1, I hope I don't have to start him. That's all I said is week 1, I don't have to start. Yeah.
Let's check the tape.
Yeah, go back and look at it. I've been saying since the beginning that I thought he was going to overtake Najee Harris. I've said that multiple times in like weeks 1, 2, 3.
You have sense, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
But listen, now that I'm on here for high score and we're talking about this, I want to use this platform for one final pitch. All right. We've talked about this before. Matt, you kind of came onto my side with this recently, and I don't know if you've changed your mind again or not. But now that we have 6 playoff teams, I really think we're doing ourselves a disservice by giving all 6 playoff spots to the teams that have the luckiest schedules. Now, I know some teams like you guys, it's not just lucky schedule. You guys are both up there in points. I mean, Matt, you're number 1, Ben, you're number 4 in total points. So it's not just schedule. But there's a couple of guys that are up there in the playoff spots right now because they've had soft schedules, because the people that they played against haven't scored a ton of points. I think we really need to think about giving those final 2 playoff spots, number 5 and number 6, to 2 of the top scoring teams that are not the highest winning teams, right? I mean, that's the whole thing we do, right? We go to this draft to draft high scoring players. We make trades, we make waiver wire pickups, we set our lineups with the goal of putting the highest scoring players on our team. Why are we only giving credit to the teams that have the easiest schedule? We should be doing a balance. 2 division winners get a bye, the next 2 highest records, the next 2 highest points is I think
so
how we should do it.
You would get my vote not for that, but for doing the league median scoring every week. So you're playing 2 games a week. You're playing against the guy you're playing, and if you score above the league median score, you get a win. If you score below, you get a loss. So
that's going to be a bigger sell, though. That's a bigger sell for everybody else in the league.
To me, I think now that I'm playing in leagues like that on other sites, that to me is better than just rewarding somebody who has a hot couple weeks.
So if that rule gets proposed and it gets shot down, because a lot of people hate that league median thing, if that rule gets proposed and nobody wants to do it, would you then shift to consider this other version of the rule where we give the high scoring teams an opportunity to get at the 5th and 6th seed?
As we discussed early in this pod on the hammer section, there might be some changes we need to look at this year overall in the way this league is going with how we score, division size, and everything. So this is just part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you and I enjoy doing this part of this stuff. I know we don't like arguing about it and the whole league, but I enjoy trying to find a way to make this better. I know you do too. I know you spend a lot of time and effort on it, and I appreciate that. So I think this is just part of that conversation that we're going to redo some stuff for next year and try and make this a little more like it was a couple years ago.
I agree.
That's part of it.
What about payouts different other than making the playoffs? Maybe you give them money for higher scores. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I think it would be kind of shitty if I like say my team. Yeah, you might think I've had luck. I've gotten lucky to how I've gotten to the
not you
playoffs. Not me. I'm saying in general. I'm just saying like if I was in this league next year and we make this change and I squeak in there somehow because I've had a softer schedule or whatever, but my team still won. You know what I mean? I think I'd be kind of bummed if I was like, well, I have the record.
I think it's less about money. I think it's less about money. Nate doesn't care about $2,000 winning. I don't care about, that money. A lot of guys don't. Like, it's cool to get the money. It's fucking bragging rights are about everybody and everything and how I did it.
Okay, either way, bragging rights or money. So, it's same thing. I'd be bummed I didn't make the playoffs because my team has the wins, but I don't have the points. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, how do you justify?
That's the league median. That's where it works out.
Yeah, think about it. Why that works,
Ben.
I don't know what that means. So you guys.
So basically,
we don't
take everybody's
right now.
No, it's real quick and easy. Okay. So every week you play against normal. You're one guy, win or loss, and then you take the average score for the week. You take halfway the average score. If you scored above that, you get an extra win. If you score below that, you get a loss. So you end up every week with 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2.
That's a very unpopular format. We've talked about that format in this league, and people do not like it. It won't
get
the votes.
But it pays you to get higher scores. It gives you that. Anyways.
It does. Yeah, it does give a little bit of credit to the high-scoring teams.
Yep.
I was actually going to say it another way. I was going to say if you do it the way I'm proposing, Ben, for 20 years, we had 4 playoff teams, right? So if you had the best record, you were in the playoffs, those 4 teams. Even before we expanded to 14 teams, when we were still a 12-man league, we went to 6 playoff teams because the league expanded. So we had an extra week to play with. So we went to 6 playoff teams. What I'm saying is the 4 teams that made the playoffs for 20 years, those 4 teams would still make the playoffs. So you're not taking a playoff spot away from somebody. All you're doing is you're adding 2 playoff spots and saying, we're going to give those 2 playoff spots to the teams that scored the most points this year.
Yeah, you're not getting my vote on this. I'll do the league median. I'm not doing that one. It doesn't sit right with me. I don't like it.
To me, it seems like, why are we messing with the structure of, you know what I mean? I get it. Like you want to reward somebody for scoring, but sometimes that's just
He scored a high score 2 weeks in a row. He thinks he has a high score. Yeah, he wants to get in the playoffs.
No, it's not just about me. I'm telling you, that's how all the high stakes leagues do it this way because it removes some of the variance of bad luck. Is all it does. It takes out some of the variance of you happen to have a lucky schedule or an unlucky schedule, which you don't have any control over. No matter how good of a fantasy player you are, you have no control over your schedule. So it just takes out that bad luck variance. That's all it does.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get it. I just think it would be I'd be kind of disappointed if I had the wins and didn't make it because I didn't have the points. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
I hear Adam when he says simplified leagues are sometimes more fun. So I'm going to stick with
So
that.
you want to add a
Let's
league
go
median?
I don't
League median
know.
is not
I'm
simplified.
hearing. All I'm saying is I'm hearing him. It's in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds to me like that voice may not be in the back of your mind very much longer. Hopefully he changes his mind, but that may not be a thing.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? All right, guys. Well, that was your high score of the week. Congratulations, Nate.
Yeah.
2 in a row, back to back.
2 in a
back to
row.
back. All right, well, let's talk about low score something real quick. I know Nathan wanted to kind of talk about this for a second. Adam obviously had the low score this week, 91.46. He's now 1-10. Nate, take it away.
Well,
Brutal.
it's if we would have had Adam on for the low score segment, I would have asked him about this, and it sounds to me like maybe this part of it he doesn't care as much about, but the rest of us that track history and sort of records, all-time records, I thought might be interesting for other people to hear. So I wanted to bring it up. Adam, actually, his record this year, right now, he's 1-10. And the all-time record for least amount of wins in this league is Alex. Back in 2013, he had 2 wins. That was the all-time record. So Adam is dangerously close to that all-time record. If he doesn't win another game this year, he's going to break that all-time record with only 1 win. We have a couple other guys, Josh, Sean, and Joe, that have seasons of 3 wins. But Alex still has that worst season of all time with 2 wins.
Man,
there's
Sean's
also
on there twice.
Yeah, Sean's on there twice with 3
That's
wins.
harsh. That's harsh.
There's also another record that Adam is on pace to break right now, the longest losing streak. Currently, Adam's losing streak is 10, which is funny because he's 1-10. That means he won week 1. But he's got a 10-game losing streak. The all-time record for losing streaks is Joe. He had a 12-game losing streak once.
Woo!
We also have on the leaderboard here, we have somebody named Tom. Do you guys remember Tom?
Tom, yes.
Before my time.
Yeah,
Matt,
before your
Matt
time.
doesn't remember Tom.
2004, Tom had an 11-game losing streak. And then Josh twice, 2011 and again in 2021. Josh had 10-game losing streaks, which Adam is now matched. So if Adam continues with his losing streak, he has a chance to catch Joe. So he'll be catching or passing both Ribble Boys on their all-time
You've seen
losing
his
streaks.
team, man. You've seen his team.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Tom, that was a year of the infamous Brian Ponce victory, right?
Yeah.
The one guy who's on our trophy that isn't in the league anymore.
Yeah.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah, he was a supervisor at my job. I was a collector there, and Tom was a supervisor.
Can we get a hold of him? Can we get him back for like a victory lap? See if we can take him
Brian?
down. I want him taken down.
No,
Brian
Tom was my
Ponce.
supervisor. Brian was another employee there.
Whoever won, whoever's name's on the trophy, I want to take him down.
Okay, yeah, let's see if we can get him on the pod one of these days.
Especially if somebody drops out this year, maybe.
I almost feel like we should have named the trophy the Ponce or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
not bad. That's
the
not bad.
inaugural Ponce.
I'm just saying, right? Like, just the guy's a legend, dude. He's not even in the league, but he's the first one on our trophy.
He hasn't been in the league in 20 plus years, and his name has been on our trophy this entire time. And I'll bet you he has no idea. Because we
Yeah,
didn't
probably
create that
not.
trophy until years after he was out of the
Oh
league.
yeah.
That's
I
funny.
can't wait to get the Ponce. I can't wait to win the Ponce this year, man. I can't wait.
I actually got invited, those two guys, Tom and Brian, they invited me to play in a league with them like, I don't know, 15 years ago. They were like, hey, man, since you don't have a league anymore, because I told them this one disbanded, since you don't have a league anymore, you want to come play in ours? And I played with them for 2 years. It was fun. But yeah, I haven't seen them since.
That's funny, man. That is too funny. All right, here we are with our DFS correspondent, StevBot 2000 in the house. Mr. Josephson, how are you, sir? Welcome in.
I'm doing well. Pleasure to be here. Not here enough.
You, you know what? You've avoided low score or high score this season.
Although, yeah, I was going to say that maybe I don't want to be here for those reasons.
But
Well,
have
you
a-
do want to be here this week talking about what you're about to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I do,
That's for
fellas.
sure.
Yeah, very excited.
You had a big
Um,
week, man. You had a big week. Talk to us about it.
I did have a big week. I just killed it on DraftKings. Did very well. You know, I did my normal routine in the mornings. Woke up like around 8:00, watched my shows, finalized all my lineups. When I usually that's when I make all of my lineups pretty much. Is like starting at around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on Sundays. And I was watching the Niner game on my phone at this convention. Then on my way to my mom's house, back to the stairs, I was listening to the Red Zone channel, and I'm like, okay, well, all my players are doing pretty good. All right, this is going pretty good. And then, no joke, as I was getting off the freeway at the stoplight, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what my lineups are doing, and boom, there it was. I'm like, all right.
What'd you see?
I saw I was winning around $28,000.
$28,000.
What
I
kind
assume
of
that's your biggest hit
sorry.
ever, right?
That was my biggest hit ever, all at once. Yes.
What kind of lineups were they first? What kind of games were you playing? And then talk to us about the lineups.
All cash games. All cash games for the most part. Like this lineup, what I typically do is I build a cash game lineup where you're just trying to beat 50% of the field, and you want to try to get a lineup that will score on average around 100 to 150 points, right? That's usually what's going to take down you're going to win your 50-50 and
All
double.
right, who was on the team? Now, who was on the team?
So,
Hold on.
So
Steve, I don't mean to interrupt, but the screenshot you sent us, they're not cash games. These are GPPs. There's 4,500 people in this tournament, and only the top 10% gets paid.
All right, look at the bottom. I think at the last screenshot, I literally just took a screenshot and sent it to you of like all the contests that I was in.
But the big prize,
if you go down further,
the 25K was a GPP.
It was a GPP.
Yeah.
I didn't finish. Like Ben wanted to talk about the lineups. Let me break it down for you. So with these cash game lineups, I always enter those in 50-50s and double ups plus GPPs, 3-entry maxes, single entries. Like this was my most confident lineup. It's the one I spent the most time with. No joke. I was wrestling between two different players, a two by two, 4 different players within the last 5 minutes. And finally, I just decided on what I did. Thank God, because I never would have in a million years won as much as I did had I gone the other way. So the bottom line is I make my cash lineup, and that one I enter into my highest buy-in single entry contest, which is the big one. And that was the one where I took down 25K, right? That's
a $50 entry, right?
$50 single entry, 25K to first. I took that down with this lineup. And then I also entered this lineup on, it was like, I don't know, like some listener league that the guy was like, hey, come fill my listener league. And like, we got to get it filled before, last minute or whatever. So that literally was like within a half hour to go, I entered it there. And then I entered it in the Millie Maker, which was interesting because I was about 10 points off of winning $1 million. Dalton Kincaid did not do anything in the fourth quarter. He was my tight end. Didn't do shit in the fourth quarter. And who knows what would have happened, but that's beside the point.
So I was very happy with the outcome.
Yeah, who's in your lineup? So, let's get there.
Top to bottom, quarterback, you had our Brock party, baby, man. I had to go with Brock. I knew he was going to be my cash game quarterback. He was low owned, as a matter of fact, but he's been on fire lately. They're on a mission right now. I had to have him. Then I went to Brian Robinson Jr., Singletary, both chalky, both high owned. Brian Robinson's was 36.9%. Singletary was 46.9%. Both high owned, both chalky. Tyreek Hill, he was the best wide receiver on the slate, proved it again as well. My big spend up in this lineup. Then I went to DJ Moore thinking that game was going to be a shootout, which it kind of was. And then Rondale Moore, he was uber chalk in all of the double ups, but in this lineup, yeah. Did he have one catch? Was that one
catch?
Yep.
Long bomb for a touchdown. Yeah.
But the thing is, he was a price point play. Like he's got a relationship with Kyler, and it was a price pay. He was $3,300. He was stupid chalk in all of the double ups. In this one, 28.7%, which is still kind of high. You want to try to get players under 20% in your like single entry lineups, right? Then we went to Dalton Kincaid. That was where I knew I was going to get different from the field because he was spending up at tight end, and he came in at 8.1%. He still didn't do what I thought he was going to do. He only scored about 10 fantasy points, but it was just enough. Then we got Tank motherfucking Dell, who has been my go-to, and this is where my 2x2 came into play. I was in between.
What is the 2x2, Steve?
Basically, I'm in between. I have 2 players I want to swap out for 2 other players, and I was between Tank Dell and Dallas, the Cowboys defense, or I think it was the Steelers defense and Breece Hall. So
Okay.
my thought process was, and I've talked to some of my colleagues that are friends that also do this on a regular basis, and one of them said, where the offense is going. It's gonna be Breece Hall. He's a no-brainer for cash games. Like, you have to use him. And I'm like, all right, great, but my gut's telling me go with the rookie Tank Dell. He's been on fire. He was super high owned also in this and in cash games at 39.9% in this particular contest. Then this is where the kicker came in, and this is how I really think I actually won, was with the Cowgirls defense. They were playing against the worst team in the fucking league, right? Against Carolina. Like
Rookie quarterback.
Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Rookie quarterback. They've been terrible all season. Dallas, ever since getting embarrassed by us, by our Niners, has just been on fire defensive wise. Like, I feel like
And
they've got,
offensive.
and you should,
Well, they were before that game, yeah.
Yeah.
They were, but we shut them up. We hit them in the face, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so for me, and like, you really shouldn't play narratives in fantasy. I love it. I'm all about it, but like, narratives are just whatever. Like, if there's somebody's birthday, 9 times out of 10 they're going to catch a touchdown. I think that happened with Kittle. Was it a 2-touchdown game, a couple games ago or something like that on his birthday?
Famous girlfriend in the stands.
Famous girlfriend in this. Yeah, exactly. Like that. What happened yesterday, right? What happened last night on Monday Night Football? Who wasn't
Steve,
a famous girlfriend in the stand?
My takeaway from this, if and for anybody else that's watching this, if they want to win big money in DFS, the biggest advice that I've taken away is, if I'm playing in cash games, which I do more often than I do GPPs, why not take your cash game lineup and go throw it in a GPP and see if it strikes gold, right?
Yep.
You absolutely
I wouldn't
should.
recommend to everybody to go throw it in a $50 GPP. That's probably a good way to lose your money pretty quick. But in this case, it worked out well for Steve, and he hit the top prize. So good luck. Good job, Steve.
I mean, I will tell you, I had Tank Dell in every lineup this weekend and Singletary, and so did you. So I'm on the right track. I like it.
Well, but again, it varies from week to week.
I know.
Like I said, I really don't make any big lineup decisions until Sunday morning after all the news comes out, after I've done, a week's worth of research, and, read a bunch of articles, see what other people are saying. So, it's all different factors.
What was your previous big win before this one?
I think I won about 15. Last year I won 5.
15K?
Yeah, 15K.
15K.
15K. There's a bunch of times I won 5 a couple weeks ago.
Are you in 6 figures for your history?
I was just going to say, don't tell me you don't know the number, because I know you know the number.
No, not 6 figures. Definitely not 6 figures.
That's taking into account what you bet. I'm saying, are you up
like
100K?
High fives for sure. Like high fives.
Good.
But I'm not at 6 yet.
Good.
My first year playing DraftKings, I think my very first year playing, like week 3, I hit a $3,000 win. And I thought I was the shit.
I remember that.
I was like, oh, I'm good at this. And then I've won a few other contests, $500.
Yeah.
I think I won one for $1,500. But yeah, nothing in the thousands after that. So that's obviously the more you play, the better chances you're going to have of winning. Right?
I've never cracked 500. So you guys are way above me.
Hey, you guys want to help me convince Nate and go in on the 3-game slate this Thursday with the Millie Maker, $3,000 buy-in. Help. I want to split it. It's 150 lineups for 3K.
For those of you that don't know,
top.
Steve texts me literally every week and says, let's do a lineup together. I'll give you half. All you have to do is just give me one lineup. He thinks I'm good luck. Give me one lineup, and I'll give you half of all my winnings. And I've done it a few times. But of course, I didn't do it this past week. And if I would have, maybe I'd have an extra $14,000 in my pocket right now. So
That's
but,
funny. I get those texts from Steve during baseball season. Hey, let's do lineups. Let's do parlays. He doesn't ever hit me up during football season though. I don't know why.
Well,
It's weird.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about Nate. As you guys know, Nate has a knack for finding those players that nobody's thinking of, and that's what you need to win these contests. Granted, in that lineup that you're probably going to throw on screen or whatever, it's basically everybody's known, but like very few people were on Dalton Kincaid this week and Cowboys defense because of pricing. So that's what differentiated me between the rest of the field in this particular contest.
I'm going to go back and make sure I had every single one that you put in the winning lineup at least spread out through all of mine. So at least I knew I was close somewhere.
Yeah, I mean it's a puzzle. It's a mathematical puzzle.
I love
as well,
it. It's fun.
It's fun. It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and
it's. Oh, sorry.
I was just people make a living off of it.
Yeah.
Like they really do. Like
Not any of us
literally, like you. It'd be nice, but you literally see the same guys, just like that saying from Rounders, the World Series of Poker. Why do the same 12 guys always win at the end, final table, whatever? It's literally the same thing with DFS. Where,
all right, Steve. Last question, man. Here, end the pod or end your segment. What are you gonna buy for yourself? Buy yourself something nice. What's it gonna be?
I'm thinking of a PS5.
Let's hope for something more exciting, but okay, that's cool.
I don't really ruin my life. We gotta like. I'm gonna buy my kids a lot of gifts. And
I want you to get a really
nice.
bitchin' like pinky ring or something, dude. Fucking rock it.
I'm not a ring guy.
Bitchin'.
I'm not a ring guy.
What about a nice watch?
Something like that.
Either.
How about a sponsorship into your favorite podcast?
Yeah.
As long as we get 75 lineups from the commish this week, then maybe we can do that. I need 75, Nate. 75 to win 1 million. Let's go.
All right, Steve.
Hey, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
That was our DFS correspondent, Steph. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, guys. Let's do one of our new favorite segments. Well, I keep saying new. It's been fucking like 6 weeks. It's one of our favorite segments. It probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. And this week's games, guys, we're gonna just pick from all the Thanksgiving, all 3 games that are there. Each one of us is gonna take something from this weekend. I'm gonna just go first and get it out of the way. I'm gonna go because I'm rooting. I'm rooting. I'm using this to root my man on. I'm going Sam Howell, the man, is going to put the Cowboys in their place this weekend, throwing for 3 touchdowns and running for 1. So 4 total for Sam Howell against the Cowboys and their defense. And I think I'm rooting for it, baby. Let's go.
Would you say he's number 1 in your rooting rankings?
He's my number 1 in my rooting rankings for sure, Mr. Sam Howell. All right, who you got? What do you guys got?
I got one for you.
So
it probably won't happen. It'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mine's along the same lines as yours, Ben. As we know, on Thanksgiving, Detroit and Dallas have been hosting Thanksgiving games for 50 years, right? Forever.
Yeah.
And Dallas has had better success with it than Detroit has, but. One thing I'm going to go with, we got some in fact, if you look at all the spreads throughout all the games this entire weekend, the biggest spreads are on Thanksgiving. It's all fucking just massacres, like 10-point spreads, 8-point spreads. It probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. All 3 road teams are going to win on Thanksgiving. Ooh. That means the Packers are going to beat the Lions at home. That means the Commanders are going to beat the Cowboys. And, of course, our Niners are going to beat the Seahawks. All 3 road teams are going to win.
There you go. Say it.
It probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did.
There you go.
Yeah,
come on, brother.
2 weeks in a row, Nate, you and I have been along the same lines. So I'm going to switch it up. So what I'm going to go with is what I initially thought probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. I'm going to say Packers double-digit win over the Lions.
Wow. All right, so we're all picking upsets this weekend, huh?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Big time. All right. Well,
okay, what I was going to do was going to be Packers, Commanders, and Niners all 10-point wins. But
oh, wow.
I'm just going to stick with the Packers one.
Yeah.
There you go. I like
Cool.
it. I like it. All right, guys. Well, that was it. Probably won't happen, but it'd be pretty fucking cool if it did. And we're gonna move right along to our segment called Bobby's Can of Worms. Guys, we asked him to do stop motion animation, something about the league this year. You know, kind of giving his review of what's going on and everything. And it's not ready yet. It'll be ready. He said he's going to try and have it ready for us next week. We might get some little preview of it. We're efforting a preview clip. So if we do, we'll show it to you right here. But if we don't, then you won't see it. And we'll go on from there. What's up, Matt?
All right. I want both of you to pick up your phones real quick. Let's open up the thread real quick with us and Steve. He needs some advice.
He needs advice now?
He needs advice now. And this is
Okay.
real time. We're going to have to text him after this.
Real
Let's
time.
get advice.
All right. One
Does
last
he want
thing.
us to talk about this on the pod?
This
He
is
needs
don't
advice.
think so.
I'm just saying.
he might know. Well, do you think she watches it with him?
I don't know. I don't think he wants us to talk about this.
All right. Well, we'll give you advice offline, Steve.
I want to see you guys' reaction.
Yeah. I don't know if
That's a little teaser for you guys.
yeah. He might want to. Yeah, he might want to wait on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Yeah. So okay. Let's move it on to our last segment, the Thunder Roll segment, baby. Thunder. All right, Matt. Congratulations on your win this week. That
Thanks,
makes you 3-2-1. 74 big points for you. Nathan and I were both down 52 and 42 for Nathan, 52 for me. Yeah, man, that stack really worked out for you. It looks like.
Nate, do you have the totals of points?
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
on the other
calculating
tab
that?
here on the weekly results tab. So the total points so far, Ben is still in the lead, 378. Matt, 357, and I'm in last place with 318.
Oh, it's all closer than I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Man, you really flipped the script on this thing for us, brother, and I appreciate it. Otherwise, I don't know where we'd be in this rankings. But let's move it on to this week's picks. I'm going to go first at quarterback. I think I will just. You know what? Dak Prescott, Josh Dobbs. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes. I haven't had Mahomes yet. I'm gonna go Mahomes against Las Vegas this week. That's what I'm gonna take. I think you're up next, Nate.
Oh, okay. Well, I think, God, you know what? I think the easy choice would probably be Prescott, right? The way he's been playing lately.
Yeah.
But I just picked them to get upset by Washington. So, I mean, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it?
Nope.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say Dak Prescott. The last 2 weeks I've jinxed the player, so maybe I can jinx him.
Yeah, come on. All right.
Brother. Who you taking, brother? Who you taking?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down and take the best running quarterback in the league, Lamar Jackson.
Good pick.
All right, Lamar Jackson. Nobody wanted Dobbs against Chicago, huh? I thought that was.
Jackson going
Yeah, I'll
against
pass
the
on that.
Chargers. That defense is terrible.
All right, well, running backs, Nate. Who you taking this week? Starting off.
Matt said it once before, and I wholeheartedly agree. If you have the first pick, there's no other player to pick other than CMC.
All right, that means Matt, you get second pick here at running back.
Not far behind him. I'm going to go Chalk. Kamara.
There you go. All right, then I think I will. I think I'm gonna go with. I don't know. I don't know how good Miami's. I haven't really checked Miami's run defense, but Breece Hall has been kind of good.
Kind of good? Yeah.
I'll go with Breece Hall this week. I'll go with Breece Hall running back.
Kind of good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
He's been pretty good. Wide receiver, Matt, you go first this time. Pick it out.
I'm sure the right choice would probably be to take Nate's stack, but I'm going to. Oh, I'm going to go Keenan Allen. I'm going to get points coming and going in that game. I'm going to have
All
somebody
right.
scoring at all times.
All right.
All right, then I'm going to go next, and I'm going to just continue to ride the guy, CeeDee Lamb. Give him to me again, baby. CeeDee
You know, I'm glad you took CeeDee Lamb because I was telling myself, don't do the stack again. Don't do the stack again. It sort of
Yeah.
screws you in this format with only 3 players. So I'm glad you took that option off my table. Player, I think, is going to have a bounce back game. You know, 2 weeks ago, he was not happy with the performance, and his brother tweeted out, get this man out of here. You know? And then last week, I think his quarterback must have saw that tweet because his quarterback put him in the doghouse and did not throw to him. And he had a horrible game. Hopefully they've kissed and made up. He's out of the doghouse. Stephon Diggs, big bounce back game.
There you go.
There you go.
Mr. Diggs.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that was our Thunder Roll segment. And, yeah, we'll see how it works out, Matt. We'll see if you can continue to roll or if me or Nathan can sneak back in there. Nate, you need to win bad, bro. You gotta get back in this thing.
Nate, who'd you take?
Oh, my total team, I took Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Diggs.
Matt?
Ben?
Oh,
I got Jackson. Who did I take? Kamara. And I took Keenan Allen.
And I went Mahomes. I went Brees Hall. And I went CeeDee Lamb. Yes. I'm excited about these picks. All right, guys. Well, before we get out of here, like we do every week, guys, talk to me about your weekends. What you got planned this weekend? And Nate, we need your pick.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even look. But you know what? Hey, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody watching the podcast. Maybe this pod will come out on Thanksgiving. You can watch it with your families. Hopefully we didn't cuss too much for you to do that.
Shit.
That's you know, this weekend we got our Friendsgiving party on Saturday night, so that should be fun. I know a lot of degenerates are going to come to that. And then
I'm going to
Sunday,
make one of those eventually. Someday I'm going to be there.
I hope so, man. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time with that. This will be our I believe our 8th or 9th. We've been doing it ever since Portia and I moved in together. So had a lot of fun. And then just a lot of football on Sunday. That's it, man.
That's awesome. Brother, you?
Yeah, same thing, man. A lot of football. Reorganizing the wood shop downstairs, so I'll put some games on down there while I'm doing that. And I'll be FaceTiming you so we can talk about some of the projects going on. But
very nice. Yeah, I'll be watching football at Friendsgiving with Nathan on Saturday and enjoying the time with my family because Debbie's off for the next 3 days. And
nice.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a good little week.
Sometimes I open up this app and it takes me a while to figure out who my money line smash of the week is.
Yeah.
This time I opened it up and I knew right away. I mean, it just immediately came to me. They're playing at home in a big division game. This is the first time, I think, in the history of these two teams, their division rivals, the first time that they've played this late in the season when they both have winning records. So this is a big, big matchup between these two teams.
Can I guess who it is?
Yeah.
Detroit Packers.
No.
Oh, damn. Okay.
The first time in the history of these teams, and Detroit Packers, they've been teams for a long time. It'd be weird if they had that kind of history.
Is this the Jaguars?
The Jaguars and the Texans, yeah. And my money line smash of the week at home, the underdog Texans will beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Book it.
Yeah, that's a good one too, dude. The way CJ's been playing, dude, they're unstoppable.
You know, I have this thought in the back of my head as soon as you just said that the NFL as a league somehow is going to come up and just tap Texans on the shoulder one of these weeks and take them down a notch. Say, yeah, good job, guys. Not quite this year, though. It's not your year yet. Maybe this week. I hope I'm not jinxing anything. But I just think that's coming. I think they're going to get knocked down a bit. They're so fun to watch, but don't think they're quite there.
We'll see what the script. We'll see what the script has for them. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see. All right, guys. Well, that was it for this week's Ordinary Fantasy Pod. That's a wrap, guys. See you next week.
See you,
All right, guys.